I started playing the guitar when I was 8 years old. My father's a musician. I have several uncles and cousins who played in bands. I had an aunt who sang opera in the Philippines, so music was the norm in the family. I was always surrounded by it. I remember being very young. I would play around with my dad's guitars and synthesizers, just being totally fascinated and fixated on the sounds it would make. I played in bands in high school, college, and throughout my 20s. Punk bands, indie rock, shoegaze, electronic, all very noisy bands, of course. I think I was about 25 or 26 when I completely stopped writing and playing music altogether. At that point, I just felt like I had written all the songs that I could write without it sounding too repetitive from one another. I would work really hard on songs and spend a lot of time on them, only to be maybe 70% happy with how they turned out, and then I just never released them. Music was such a big part of my life, but I felt I needed to distance myself from it for a while and, focus on work and a career. A couple years ago, I lost my mother. She passed away very abruptly and very unexpectedly. I don't remember too much from that first month, but after she was buried and everything started to settle, that's when I picked up the guitar for the first time in nearly a decade. My mother was the biggest fan of my music. She always encouraged me to pursue it, so it only felt right to start playing again. Writing and playing music at that time was very therapeutic. It gave me that outlet to cope with losing her, find myself, and reflect on life. Something magical happened once I started playing again. I started to write songs, and these songs came very naturally and effortlessly to me. I must have written 6 or 7 songs in that first week. I think all of them are on the album. In the remainder of that year, I wrote 17 or 18 songs. All of them I'm pretty proud of. Not only are these the only songs I've put out in a decade, but it also happens to be the first full-length album I've ever put out. The title Tender Beats comes from one of the songs on the album. I felt it was a really good representation of the overall feel of the record. Beats representing the electronics and synthesizers, and Tender representing the acoustic guitar and the soft instrumentations that glue that all together. Tender Beats is also supposed to be a metaphor for a faint heartbeat, which contextualize a lot of the lyrics on the album. Whether it be a song about love, death, uncertainties, nostalgia, heartbreak, it all fit around that phrase. It's a very chill and relaxed record. I wanted this to be a far cry from the music I did in the past. I didn't want to make 2 songs sound the same or use the same 3 or 4 instruments in every song. The one constant on this record is that there's an acoustic guitar and I'm singing on it. I mean, that's exactly how I wrote all the songs on the album. Each of these songs can stand alone as a folk song, in which I can perform it with just me and my acoustic guitar. But the real joy and magic in making this album was layering it and finding all the different textures and soundscapes for the melody to live in. It's a very personal record, but I do hope that other people can find something in it that they can relate to. Or it's interesting enough that they can go back and listen to it again and discover things that they haven't heard before. I'm very excited to put it out there in the world, and I hope you enjoy it.